Telling you the crime rate in New York will kill you. There's so many problems, you never feel like you're accomplishing anything. Violence, rip-offs, muggings. Kids can't leave the house. You gotta walk them to school. But in Amity, one man can make a difference. In 25 years, there's never been a shooting or a murder in this town.
No kidding. You want a pretzel?
Where are we?
Right in the stretch where he's been feeding.
You get the ratio on this thing?
No, it's a closed-circuit TV system. I have underwater cameras fore and aft.
Who pays for all this stuff? Government? The Institute? This stuff costs a lot of money.
Well, I pay for this mostly myself, actually.
You're kidding.
No.
You rich?
Yeah.
Yeah, how much?
Well, personally or the whole family?
Doesn't make any sense. I mean, they pay a guy like you to watch sharks?
Well, doesn't make much sense for a guy who hates the water to live on an island, either.
It's only an island if you look at it from the water.
That makes a lot of sense.
JAWGUST. JAWGUST. JAWGUST is back once again. Jaws is 50, so I thought, my friends, for you to come with me as I go back to Amity. A 31-day podcast, talking 4 minutes of Jaws each day. It will be another month-long show for me, and I hope to see you there, 'cause JAWGUST is back again.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Tuesday, JAWGUST 12th, which means it's the 12th day of JAWGUST, the 12th day of Golden JAWGUST, and for the 12th day in a row, I am here talking to you about 4 minutes of Jaws. Today, we're talking about minutes 48 to 52. I was not expecting to do an Oprah Winfrey impression, but here we are. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I am in a really good mood because I have the next 3 days off. I have a 5-day weekend starting right now. I mean, technically, I'm on the weekend now. And my wife and I were going to do some fun things. Tomorrow, we're going to go to Laconia, and we're going to go in the Laconia area, so we might actually hit Weir's Beach. And then Friday, we're planning on going to like Salisbury Beach in Massachusetts. And if all things work well, there might be some JAWGUST on location. And notice I didn't say Thursday because the only thing I have planned Thursday is to go to a BJ's, which is a kind of like a Costco. I don't know if people have BJ's in the area, but in New England we have BJ's. I don't know if they're all over the country. I have no idea. But if you know Costco, it's the same thing. And I got a voicemail. Oh, no, I got a text. I love texts from people that want to be as vague as possible. My mother-in-law said, give me a call when you get a chance. I'm like, okay, this could be she needs me to fix her router, to I need to change the oil on her car, which I don't know how to do, so that she wouldn't ask for that. It could be anything. But it was, do you have some time? I know you have some time off. Do you have some time to go with me to BJ's to get, I don't know, a year's supply of toilet paper? I think because she said we did it last year. I'm like, last year? So that's it? Like we're doing it once a year? Okay. And unfortunately, I don't have anything planned on Thursday. So my brother is out of town. And, that means that really, as far as lifting stuff and picking up stuff and carrying stuff, that falls to me. I would love to say that we're going to hit record on the drive there and talk Jaws, but we are not. So there's a good chance that for the most part, the next 3 episodes of JAWGUST will be happening at night. But then after that, we're going to be pretty much halfway through, which is crazy. It's weird because I get to a certain point when I'm doing this, like a monthly show, that a month-long show, I should say, that it just becomes part of the routine. It's like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, and I need to record my JAWGUST episode, or I need to record my movie month, or my Margie McFly, or my sitcom, All Ye Faithful, whatever it is. It becomes part of my daily routine. So, if I'm doing it, each one of these episodes at night, that's totally fine, because it's like all I need is a good hour, and that is pretty much enough for me to do everything that I need to do and want to do for each episode. But as I said, we're hitting the halfway point, so pretty soon I need to start scheduling a few things with a few people to make sure that they're able to join the program. I don't know if I mentioned this, but a frequent guest of the show, a Margie McFly regular, and a sitcom All Ye Faithful regular, my good friend Jay, who I've known all the way since college. So we're going on 31 years now. Just aged ourselves. I mean, we look spectacular for our age, but he's never been part of JAWGUST. I mean, honestly, there was only one real JAWGUST all the way back in 2020, and he hadn't started coming on the show until after that. So I checked with him, and we are going to be doing a very special part of JAWGUST. It's towards the end of this year. It's probably going to be part of the grand finale. I don't think we're recording it on the finale, but it's going to definitely be part of it. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now. It's a little tease, a little podcasting tease for JAWGUST 31st. And I'm pretty sure I have Chris scheduled for one day specifically, and possibly another day. And Eric, I know, wants to be on at least once. So you're getting used to just hearing me for the first half of the month. But the second half of the month, get ready for the regular Geek Mentality regulars. Yes, the regulars. That should be what their nickname. That should be what I call them. The regulars. Get ready to hear them coming back on the show very, very soon. But not today. No. And speaking of today, let's get right down to it, starting with minute 48, where Hooper is still elbow deep in that poor dead tiger shark. He pulls out a can, like a canned food, a rusty can. But I thought to myself, if this movie was made in 2025, to me, I think there'd be no doubt that can would have been a can of Narragansett beer. And it would have been almost like a little breadcrumb, a little nod to like, do you see that can that they pulled out? You look at later, that's the same can of beer. That's the same beer that Quint drinks. And it almost would have been like, I wonder what that means. Oh, I bet it means that Quint was out there, but he wasn't even wasting his time with his tiger shark. He knew there was no way this could just be a tiger shark. So he just, drank his beer, crushed it up. But then I think, would Quint actually litter the ocean? I don't think he would. So maybe he just got really drunk and dropped it off the side of his boat. Again, none of this happened, but this is just what I was surmising would possibly happen if this movie was made today. That can would have meant something more. So Hooper's suspicions were correct in his thought that this shark came up in the Gulf Stream through southern waters. And how does he know that? Well, because he pulls out a Louisiana license plate out of that shark's belly. And Brody's like, he didn't need a car, did he? And he's like, no, tiger shark's like a garbage can. It'll eat anything. And this license plate, it says Louisiana. It's a 1972-1973 license plate number 0070981. Now, also on that plate, it says Sportsman's Paradise. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, today in 2025, the license plates for Louisiana still say Sportsman's Paradise. However, back in the 70s, this license plate said Sportsman's with M-E-N. Now it says Sportsman's. So at some point, they changed it from men to man. Not sports persons yet. We haven't come that far, but they still, I don't know if sportsman's is any, what's the difference between sportsmen's and sportsman's? I guess one letter. But it's still a paradise if you're a sportsman. If you're a sportswoman, maybe you can have fun. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if it's allowed in Louisiana just based on this license plate alone. But you know what? This license plate, I looked up the number on the plate, and the first thing I saw was a website called CelebrityMachines.com. It's for the Celebrity Machines Studio store, and they sell license plates from movie cars. Like I see the Out of Time Back to the Future car. I see there's a Supernatural license plate. There is a Jurassic Park license plate, a Ghostbusters license plate, friggin' Smokey and the Bandit license plate. Oh my God. This has a license plate for every car that my brother wanted growing up. Stranger Things, Fast and Furious, Better Call Saul, Transformers, Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider, Blues Brothers. Wow. And yes, they have the Sportsman's Paradise Louisiana 1972-1973 replica license plate. It's not chewed up like when the tiger shark ate it, but I thought this is an awesome deep pull. Like you could put movie posters up, but you hang up this in like your, let's say you have a movie room, a den or something that you put all sports and movie memorabilia up. You put that thing up and then you wait. You wait for someone to come over one day and go, oh my God, that's the license plate from Jaws. And then you say you want to be best friends because you just made a soulmate for life. So Hooper goes through, he finishes looking through the shark and he says, that's it. There's nothing else in there. And Brody's first thought is, we have to close the beaches and call the mayor because that's going to go over well. And Hooper says, you have a bigger problem on your hands. And Martin's like, what's that? You still have a hell of a fish out there with a mouth about this big. And Hooper's arms aren't even close to what that mouth is. He should have stretched his arms out as much as he could, like double that. It's actually this big. And Hooper, what I love is he says, like, we need to go. He's ready to go look for the shark right now. And Brody's like, no way.
You still got a hell of a fish out there with a mouth about this big.
How do we confirm that by morning?
If he is a rogue, and there's any truth to territoriality at all, we've got a good chance of spotting him between Cape Scott and South Beach.
Where are you going?
We've got to find him right now. He's a night feeder.
On the water?
Well, if we're looking for a shark, we're not going to find him on the land.
Yeah, but I'm not drunk enough to go out in a boat.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
I love that interaction. He's like, I'm not drunk enough to go in the water. He's like, you can do that. He goes, not right now. Yes, you can. No. And like the back and forth between them is great. The fact that Hooper says it's a night feeder. Well, it ate that poor Alex in the middle of the day. But it definitely, he's saying by nature, these things feed at night. So, they'll be looking, this thing looks for food all day. I mean, it took the holiday roast at night, even though it was day for night. So Hooper's ready to go right now. And of course, Brody's like, no way. He's like, yes, you can. And of course, the next shot we see is, drunk Brody in Hooper's boat. By the way, Hooper's boat looks like modern right now. I mean, I didn't get a good look at it. It's dark, but it looks almost futuristic now. Again, like it must have looked otherworldly back then. Like, what is this? This is the most amazing boat we've ever seen. And now we get drunk Brody. This is the beginning of the clip I play at the beginning of this episode, where drunk Brody's talking about New York and how there's all the terrible things in New York and how you really don't feel like you're making any progress. But in Amity, one man can make a difference. And I was searching for the title of this episode, and originally I was going to have you still have a hell of a fish out there. But in Amity, one man can make a difference, to me, was the perfect line, because it really does sum up this movie. And he's like, in 25 years, there's never been a shooting or murder in this town. He's like, and I've been here less than a year, and 2 people have already been eaten by a shark. 3, maybe more, maybe more. We haven't got there yet, but so far, 2. So and there's a fun little thing where we find out that Hooper's rich. All that fancy equipment, that fancy boat. He's rich, bitch. And it's not just him, it's his entire family. He bought all his own equipment himself. And Martin's like, that doesn't make any sense. They pay a guy like you to watch sharks? And I love, again, these two, the dialogue between these two, before Quint's even in the picture, the dialogue, like Quint is such a huge part of Jaws, and yet we are 52 minutes into this movie, and he's been in it for a minute and a half so far. But even without Quint, the interaction between Hooper and Brody is pretty great. And he's like, he says, it doesn't make much sense for a guy who hates the water to live on an island either. And Brody says a line that I think is actually kind of great. He goes, it's only an island if you look at it from the water. And Hooper says, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm like, well, it kind of does. I mean, technically, like if you took our continent in South America, it's all surrounded by water. So it's one giant island, right? Sort of, kind of, I think. I don't know. I used to own a globe, but I'm pretty sure that is correct. So Hooper's, one of his doodads starts going off, and Brody's like, what is that? He said, oh, it's probably, it's a fish finder. It's probably getting a school of, did he say school of mackerel, I think? But what if it wasn't? Like, Hooper, what if it wasn't a school of mackerel? What if it was just one giant son of a bitch shark? The fact, we're not there yet, but the fact, what Hooper does tomorrow, to me, is still insanity. And kind of I have a lot to say about tomorrow, but that's tomorrow. Right now, the only thing, this 4 minutes is pretty much almost over, except the tail end is that fish finder isn't the only thing that's going off. There's something else out there, about 100 yards south-southwest.
Ben Gardner's boat. That's Ben Gardner's boat.
You know him?
It's all banged up. Sure, I know him. He's a fisherman. What happened?
That's not good.
Look, Martin, I've got to go down there and check their hull.
What? Okay. Oh, that's where the 4 minutes comes to an end, right? Where Hooper says, I need to go down there and check that hull. So we see this wreckage of a boat. And if you recognize the boat from earlier in the movie, you might make the connection of who actually Ben Gardner is. So when Hooper says, you know him? Hooper, one thing you don't realize is that you've met him yourself, young feller. But we don't quite know really yet who it is. In fact, as a kid, I don't think I even made the connection. I always thought it was just the name of a guy who we see and have never seen before, but that's not true at all. But we're going to talk a little bit more about Ben Gardner tomorrow. Justice for Ben. I'll just say that. And if you notice, the music that I play right after the Golden Girls, Golden JAWGUST theme song, the music I play is actually from the start of it. It turns into the end title movie music, but the start of it is the music that is playing when they discover Ben Gardner's boat from this very clip. But what does Hooper want to go check the hull for? And is he out of his ever-loving mind? He's going to jump in the water. There is no chance. Like, look, he's a shark expert. And he probably thinks, well, it won't come around. I don't know what he's thinking. The fact that he knows that the shark is a night feeder, and at the same time he's going to jump into the water at night, tells me that, like, at that point, Brody should be like, is this guy crazy? Did the Oceanographic Institute send me a nut job? Because this dude is out of his ever-loving gourd. And that's the end. That is the end of these 4 minutes right here. It's just two men the entire time, just Brody and Hooper. They start off with, finishing the tiger shark autopsy, and they end with finding Ben Gardner's boat, which looks a little messed up. And they, for some reason, instead of just calling it in, calling the Coast Guard, calling the something, the Amity, well, he's the Amity PD, I guess. He can do whatever he wants. He's the chief of police. But they go right now. He's like, I want to go look right now. And I can't wait to talk about it more tomorrow. I had a thought about Hooper, not Richard Dreyfuss, and why Richard Dreyfuss doesn't return, but why the character Hooper specifically doesn't come back to Amity. And I keep saying I'm not going to talk about the sequels. And Chris made a comment. He texted me. He said, you keep saying you're not going to talk about the sequels, but you keep talking about the sequels. And you know what? He's fallen for my trap. No, he makes a good point. So Chris, I promise to you, at least in this episode, I promise that I will not talk about the sequels. But I never promised I wouldn't sing about them.
No one thought at the time, though no equals, there'd be sequels. A Jaws franchise. Jaws 2 was easily the best. Scheider returned, and that shark burned right before his eyes. Sometimes sequels, they aren't as empty as that terrible Jaws 3D. Even worse, the fourth one with Hoagie, that's Michael Caine's character. The shark wants revenge, quite stupidly. No one thought at the time, though no equals, there'd be sequels. A Jaws franchise.
Okay, I admit it. I had no thoughts about Hooper and why he did or didn't return. I just wanted to use that as an excuse to get to this song. But I did not talk about any other movie, Chris. Not once. Go back and re-listen. It did not happen. I kept my promise. For today, at least. Who knows about tomorrow, though? Tomorrow is another day. And I will be back talking more Jaws with you then. I hope you'll be back, because I just said with you, so you kind of have to be back now. You're kind of obligated. To be awkward if you didn't return. But in the meantime, you follow me on all the social. Yes, I just went into a Space Hog reference. It happens sometimes. So follow me on all the socials at Geek Mentality, except TikTok, which is Geek Mentality Mike. You can follow me on, or you can follow the website on Facebook at Fans.Experts. On YouTube, it's Fans.Experts. That's because the website, I told you this, is fans.experts.com. That is it. I am done. Off to New Hampshire tomorrow. I might be on a beach, but it's the beach of a lake, so not really JAWGUST material. But Friday I might be on the ocean. So we'll see what we'll see then. But I'll be back tomorrow night. That is a promise. There's no chance I'm recording in the morning tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow night once again to talk more Jaws with you, because that's what I'm doing all month long. I hope to see you then. But until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. The beaches are closed. And here is my theme song.
This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans not experts.
A Jaws franchise.